Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan, and welcome to the Happy Dog Diner. This is the first episode of Cooking A to Z, where I'll be cooking through the alphabet. Each week I'll be taking a different ingredient, concept, idea, recipe, whatever, and learning how to cook with it. And hopefully you will too. This week I'm starting with A, for apple Blintzes. To start, we're going to make the crepe batter, which will rest while we make everything else. Start by whisking together 2 eggs, a half tablespoon of butter, a half cup of milk, a pinch of salt, and a half cup of sifted all-purpose flour. Whisk until the flour is fully incorporated and there are no lumps left. Now, we're going to transfer the batter to a measuring cup to allow for easy pouring. Wrap that and put it in the fridge while we make everything else. The next item on the list is the caramel sauce, which will also need to chill in the fridge while we make the rest of the dish. Start by melting 2 ounces of granulated sugar over medium-high heat. Don't stir it with any utensils until it has mostly done that, right there. When it's mostly liquefied, you can start stirring to incorporate the last few grains into the sugar puddle. Continue to heat the caramel until it's a color that you like. The darker the color, the more toasty bitter notes you'll get. When it's reached your doneness, remove the pan from the heat and deglaze with 2 ounces of milk and an ounce of cream. Return the pan to the heat for 1 to 2 minutes while stirring constantly. When the sauce is slightly thinner than you'd like the final product to be, transfer it to a heat-proof bowl. Now stir an ounce of cold butter into the caramel. This process of mixing cold butter into a hot sauce is a technique called monte au beurre, and you can use it to add thickness and gloss to a lot of different sauces. Now wrap that and let it chill out with the crepe batter. Alright, time to knock out the apple filling. Start by peeling 3 medium to large apples of your choice. Granny Smiths are a pretty safe bet for cooking, but I didn't have any, so I used Macintosh instead. Alright, after the apples are peeled, cut them into about 1-inch pieces. If you're like me and still have a little bit of peel on some of the apple pieces, don't worry. They're going to be inside a Blintz, so no one's going to see them. Now toss the apples with a good splash of lemon juice. This will prevent browning while you're getting ready to cook them and add brightness to the final dish. When you're ready to cook the filling, heat about 2 tablespoons of butter over medium-high heat. Sauté the apples until about halfway to crisp tender. Now that the apples are almost there, we're going to add somewhere between 1/2 and 2/3 of a cup of sugar, depending on your tastes. Cook that until the moisture boils off and the sugar starts to caramelize. If your apples don't break down and create their own sauce like mine did, add about 1/2 cup of water mixed with about 1 tablespoon of cornstarch once the sugars have browned to your liking, and bring that mixture up to a boil. When the apples have gotten to a good thickness and doneness for you, transfer them to a bowl and set them aside while you make the crepes. And guys, remember to taste your food.
That means it's hot.
Okay, now that you're done burning your mouth on molten apple filling, let's make some crepes. Start by heating a pan over medium heat. Don't add any cooking oil or butter. Now pour in just enough batter to coat the bottom of a 9-inch pan while tilting to spread the batter around. You can pour out any excess in case you overpour. Now brown it on one side. You'll know it's ready to come out when the edges start to brown slightly and come away from the pan. Using either asbestos hands and recklessness or a utensil of your choosing, gently lift the edges to release the crepes from the pan. When they slide freely from the pan, flip them onto a stack. The steam from each cooling crepe will keep the rest pliable and easy to work with. We're almost ready to put it together now. Let's make the whipped cream. Start by whisking some cold, heavy cream in a bowl. When it starts to thicken and form peaks, add confectioner's sugar to taste. Whip it to stiff peaks. That means the cream should hold its own shape when you pull the whisk out. Keep that in the refrigerator until you're ready to put the dish together. Now, we're going to fill the crepes. Starting with the brown side of the crepe facing up, spoon about 3 to 4 tablespoons of filling onto the bottom half of the crepe. Fold the sides over and the bottom edge up, then roll and tuck until you have a cute looking roll. When you've filled your crepes, put a pan over medium heat and melt some butter in it for pan searing. Working in batches, using either your hands or a spatula, brown the top and bottom of each crepe. Now, we're ready to plate. Here's how I did it, but you do you. Start by stacking 3 Blintzes, adding an artistic dollop of whipped cream, drizzling caramel over the Blintzes, grating some cinnamon over them, dusting them with confectioner's sugar. I added too much, adding a few leaves of basil because you forgot to get mint, and drizzling more caramel over them to make them cuter. Now serve it to someone you love. whether that's yourself, your parent, your sibling, your significant other, or anyone else in your life that deserves something sweet. Now here's a whole bunch of satisfying sounds I made while I was shooting this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and if you like what I'm doing here, drop a comment and a like, share it with your friends maybe, make the recipe, tell me about it. I'd be very, very excited to hear from you. Thank you very much.